Stephen Sharp is the current poet laureate for the city of Richmond. He started writing poetry and performing spoken word in 2008 and has been featured at venues across the United States. And he has published Defining Love and No Whiskey, No Tears, which I just bought both copies of. And he is the owner of Afterword Press. So let's welcome Stephen Sharp.
Thank you just so much, Jacqueline. Oops.
Yeah.
Very light.
Yay!
Where's
your
head?
Icebreaker.
Right. Well, thank you so much just for the invite, for the promotion, for the venue. First event of April. Thank you just all so much for coming out. Like it's been said, I've been writing since 2008. Current poet laureate for the city of Richmond. Vallejo's like my second home. So was born in Richmond, but moved out to Vallejo when I want to say like 6-ish with my family. And I've told my wife how many times we'd be at the JFK library, the Springtown library. So to be able to speak and to perform here it's a big deal. So I do have 2 books, Defining Love and No Whiskey, No Tears. I'm gonna read a little bit from both, just to give you a little taste of some of the writings. So when I first started writing, a lot of it was very much journaling, how to express my feelings, and this was back when Facebook had the notes. so quite a while ago, and I put it up, shared, and there was a poem that I wrote that I got a lot of good feedback on. I was like, oh, that's kind of good. So I started in Oakland at a lounge where they had an open mic and found my community and just have been writing ever since. So without any further ado, this one is called Rental Men. First, allow me to apologize for our counterparts and any stress that they might have caused to your fragile hearts. It's a shame, but we gentlemen are a fading kind. So we spread ourselves out, making us harder to find. Ladies, it's not like we're doing it to hide from you. It's just that the rental men have left us with more work to do. Now I know you must be thinking, what is a rental man? He's nothing more than today's replacement for gentlemen. I'm told that rental men just don't seem to cut it, yet he's multiplying because you ladies seem to love it. I say this because there where you turn when you look for love, oh, when will you learn? Nothing's as good as an original classic. That's why it's lasted this long. It still has its magic. A rental man will pay just enough to borrow some of your time. He'll treat you like any other rental, not very kind. He'll try you out for the short time that he has you, but the end will just end up using then returning you. A little more worn than when he first took you out, and he'll do it to somebody else, not really caring about anything but what's new and what's next. He has nothing on his mind but his quantity of sex. The rental man only cares about his statistics. So why do you turn around and make us into statistics? Just because most are doesn't mean all men are the same. Most are just immature and worrying about playing some game. See, we gentlemen don't care about the games or how we appear. We're just carrying on a long tradition that's been handed down through the years, where men wouldn't whistle at you and stop to open doors, when words were genuine and it was expected to walk a lady to her door, without expectation of anything more than to make sure that she gets in all right. See, we gentlemen are bringing back the art of being courteous and polite. You hardly see gentlemen because our work is never done. Most of it's taking what others have did and making it undone. We try so hard to undo the reputation that rentlemen have given to our gender, with the way they behave and often offend her. And by her, I mean any of this world's women, because chances are you've met your fair share of rentlemen. They leave nothing in their wake but bad lines and broken hearts, and that's where a gentleman's work has to start, to help pick up the pieces and help bring back her trust in love and men but without the feelings of lies and lust. So I ask, why is it that most women settle for less than what they desire? I must say, always hearing about it is starting to get pretty tired. You say that you're tired of men calling you out of your name, and rental men are at fault, but you're also to blame. Whenever someone asks about you or your gang, he says, I'm that, and I can't even finish it to your shame. Shame on you for letting rental men get away with their actions. Because if you said you've had enough, I can tell you their reaction. Just tell them, no more will I take a man who doesn't have a dream. No more dreamers with no plan A, B, or C. No longer will I let your opinions or beliefs control me. Ladies, you don't have to take being hurt physically or emotionally. Because loving yourself is the beginning of a lifelong romance. And believing that life and love is worth living for helps create the fact. Together we can make rental men fade away like they are doing to the real men, leaving behind nothing but beautiful ladies and sincere gentlemen. And if you wonder why we don't just pop up again overnight, it's because real gentlemen won't step to you unless we have our steps right. We as gentlemen always are ready to play our part, but there's a little something you must do before we come to win your hearts. Like my mom always said, dress the part to fit the role. So we have a few demands, but your betterment is our goal. Don't always go for the guy with all the big bucks, because money can't buy happiness, love, or trust. Like I said before, dress for the role that you want to fit in. So dress respectable, in clothes you can actually fit in. Sometimes something that can make heads turn, but can still be worn in front of moms. Promise us that you'll make us straighten up, just like with our moms. That's how gentlemen pass tradition on to the next generation, along with keeping our kind from facing extinction. And always remember to never judge a book by its cover, because that shy boy next door just might be a gentleman undercover. So outside of that one, I want to say, out of this book, one of my favorite ones to perform, it kind of dovetails really nicely with that last one, because those that knew me when I was younger, if they saw, like those that I've lost touch with, if they saw me now, they'd be like, you're a poet? Like, you get in front and talk to people? Because growing up, I was very shy. And so this next one is called A Textbook Case of a Schoolboy Crush. Because as poets, we might have a way with words, but then there's those times where you just still don't know really how to say what you want to say. I don't know where to start because it'd be a miracle if I make it to the end. I want you to know that you make me feel like a little kid again. Back when I was known as Little Marcus, the spitting image of my dad minus the facial hair and bass in my voice. Back when I didn't have any game. When my best line was tag, you're it. My poetry wasn't anything special, simply a handwritten note passed to you from the back of the class that simply read, the prettiest girl in the room. Unsigned because I didn't want to risk you noticing me. Not that I didn't wish to be the man of your dreams, it's just I didn't really think I had a chance with you being you and me being me. You, the one having all the guys vying for your attention, and you were labeled either friendly or flirt because you talked to them all but kept your heart to yourself. Me, not the best looking and the most popular one, more like the shy one. You see, you got me feeling like I'm facing the #1 fear in America, hot under the collar, can't swallow, can't focus, all my confidence shot, just plain awkward. So uncoordinated that I can't look you in the eye and talk at the same time, and all I want to do is say hi. My name is Stephen. So when I finally work up the courage to say what I practice over and over in my mind, you reply in kind by giving me just a little bit of your attention and time. But how is as far as I planned? So I'm stuck, speechless, because you blew my mind. And your smile turns into a laugh as you realize that I'm at a loss for words. I laugh too, thinking how silly I must look to you, and then you save me further embarrassment by saying that you have to go, but that you'll see me later. I guess it's just another textbook case of a schoolboy crush. Now that you're not here, I remember all the things that I wanted to say. I wanted to say that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. That you should try me out because I'm a thicker book than most people have time to spend reading. Give it a little time and I could potentially be your favorite book. The one that contains stories that you don't mind hearing over and over again. I'll tell you the story of why the rainbow bows, how a star's twinkle got caught in a little girl's eye, and what a poet said his muse after 1,000 poems, and he still couldn't fully describe his muse's beauty. So believe me when I say I can help you get away. Give me your attention, I'll make you forget about everything outside of a 3-foot radius. I want to tell you that even though others might flip through my pages, you're the only one that ruffles them. So let's combine our stories and start a new chapter. Just remember that this book has legs, so don't try to leave me on the shelf because after so long, I might just get up and run away. But until then, tag. Here. Well, thank you. Well, now that we got all the mushy stuff out of the so yeah, defining love is very much about love, relationships, and I wanted to shift gears a little bit with No Whiskey, No Tears. One, it has a lot of poems about things that we don't often talk about unless we have a little bit of liquid courage in us. So it's a book of those type of conversations, but then also just kind of overall encouragement. So this one is called Who Told You? While walking in this jungle that we call Earth, many will try to poke holes in the fabric of others' self-worth to patchwork their own lives. So I ask, who told you were flawed? Who told you that you are lacking something? Who told you that your curls needed to be straight? Was it the ones who don't have them naturally? The same ones who produce products that straighten your hair by weakening it, slowly losing its shine and ability to hold itself together, breaking locks, leaving it brittle, and continuously shedding its former beauty. Who told you that you weren't the right size? As long as you're not so heavy that you make light of your health or too frail to stand strong in a storm, you are a walking work of art. Each stretch mark tells a story. The ones on your thighs grew from carrying the weight of the world, yet you still stand strong. And what about the ones along your side, reminding you of when you first learned how to cook for yourself and others? Who told you that you needed to be wrapped in designer clothes? It often costs the same to make as the lesser known brands, but with the right seal of approval, logo, companies can charge more. They're often worn by those needing validation by wearing the same things as celebrities. And what is a celebrity? People behaving crazily and some celebrate it. Why? Because of their freedom to express themselves. Because of that, I sometimes shed a tear. And who told you that men can't cry? Was it the ones that say that tears are a sign of weakness? It sometimes takes more strength to let them fall than to bottle them up. Don't let the pressure build up only for it to flare out of control on whoever might be too close for comfort but too far for understanding. I don't understand those hating on my honey graham cracker caramel complexion. Who told you that your chocolate skin wasn't gorgeous? Was it the ones who tanned to bridge the gap between our tones? The same ones whose skin isn't as tested as yours? You're full of melanin, looked at by society as a possible felon in waiting, when in reality, like a melon in waiting, you're ripe with potential. Who told you that you weren't smart? Was it the ones who have $200,000 receipts? Degrees, that say that they are? Some have graduated school but still haven't learned their lessons. Who told you that you were less because you've been through more? Don't you know that even diamonds have flaws and are made through almost unmeasurable, unbearable pressures? Who dared to tell you that you couldn't make your dreams come true? You'll never know your capacity unless you're willing to test your limits, learn from mistakes, and not be afraid of the unknown. Who made you ashamed of what you don't have instead of proud of your gifts and experiences? Did you eat that fruit that looked good but turned out to be rotten? Has it made you always second guess trying to take a bite of something new? Weren't you created pure, born beautiful, cut from the fabric of holy origins, essentially set apart by your uniqueness? Who told you that no one cared or would ever love you? Does everyone have the same eye color? Does everyone grow to be the same height? No matter how overwhelming the majority may seem, people are not all the same. The right ones just haven't found you yet. Just don't stay hidden or silent when they come looking. Thank you. Okay. I'll do one more and then take my seat. All right, so this one is a letter that I wrote to myself, especially like once I started writing and performing, because once you realize you have a way with words, you know you can cut with your words. And there was definitely a time, even recently, like during the pandemic, where I was writing and it was good stuff, but it was very hurtful stuff. and sometimes we put our pain on display, not realizing how it might affect others. So this is one that I read to myself from time to time to keep perspective. It's called Conscientious. Dear friend, be responsible with your words. Please be responsible for your words. Though you sometimes use could've, should've, would've beens to patchwork tattered memories. Be careful choosing the shades you use to paint your inspiration. You say that they'll never see or hear it once it's finished. You should put it on full display. Yet you tell me not to worry because it's framed in a way to hide identities. What if they do see it? What if they do recognize all your familiar tendencies? Would they be proud to have been your muse? Would it make them see the error of their ways and any ways to become a better person? Or would it make things worse? Does your portrait embody them as they are or as they were? Does it tear them down from the level that you so painfully pulled yourself up from? You might be right. I could be overthinking things. After all, they're only words. But correct me if I'm wrong. In some instances, isn't God himself called the Word, living and powerful, sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the division of soul and spirit, joint and marrow? Yes, my friend, words can cut deep. We've been hurt so much and it's taken so long to heal that it's no wonder that we're experts at opening up old wounds, scribing new scars into flesh, and crumbling others' confidence from the inside out. Like Frankenstein's, we'll put pieces together, giving life to the wretched. It's hard to look away, because we'll package it with just enough lust and disgust that people can't help but to rush to see something memorable. But they will keep their distance to avoid the risk of getting ripped to shreds. So what's your end game? Would you rather be a speaker for the dead and dying, or a speaker for the lost? Give voice to those who have lost smiles, lost love, lost relationships, lost a sense of self, lost motivation, or lost hope. Be a beacon for those who've become lost in transition, lost in the motion, and lost in the commotion. Do it because you were once lost, and sometimes still wander off the path. Leave a guide to growth for yourself and others. Just don't do it at the expense of another. Say what needs to be said, and vent in a vacuum when your growth will wither those around you. You have a responsibility, not just as a writer, but as a person. Sincerely, your conscience. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. That is just great. Beautiful, beautiful words. Let's give him another round of applause.